we are going to have for the first time the FIA SIC World Championship in Brazil. First time ever in our history. It will be in November. Emmo is going to participate. It will be tremendous pressure for him. He'll be 13 by then. He's going to learn a lot in Europe this year. And in December already took him there to practice on this track, where it's going to be the World Championship. It's a new facility on 500 kilometers from São Paulo.
How's Pietro looking for this year?
Well, you know, he's looking as reserve test driver for Haas. He still needs to get the points for the license, super license. He'll be standby with Haas for sure. Enzo is looking very good on the Formula 3 FIA race he's going to do.
Ferrari Driver Academy.
Ferrari Driver Academy, and driving for HWA team. That
Three
means,
quick guys there.
yes. And my youngest daughter, Vittoria, started racing karting too.
No.
Yes, I hope she doesn't continue. No, it's a second problem home. She's 9 years old, she loves, she racing Homestead, she races well. Now if you move to Italy, we see if she really wants to continue or not.
Emerson, you've traveled a lot. You live in America now. You're probably going to be spending a lot of time in Italy. Obviously, you spend a lot of time in the UK, Brazil. Where's your favorite place? Where do you feel at home?
Well, always it's nice to go back to Brazil because that's where I was born. But the best place for me to live is America. I like a lot to live there. I enjoy. I think it's a very international country with people from all over the world, similar to Brazil anyway. I like a lot America, yes. I'm building my own car in Europe as well. That's, you know,
You've got some exciting development plans for that. Can you talk about that?
Well, like 2 years ago, I decided to go electrical car because it's a big change. We are going to launch a V8 normal aspirated car with about 650 horsepower. And then 2 years ago, I decided I have to be electrical. You know, the car will be about 1,200 horsepower. We'll go 0-60 in 2.5 seconds.
As much as you've been a great racing driver with teams like Lotus, McLaren, Penske, you've always loved the idea of building your own cars, getting involved in the engineering. You could never stay away from that, can you?
No, I love it, and then since I left Brazil, for a few times I nearly launched the GT car. I always want to make a GT car in Brazil. It never happened, and I said, okay, now I'm going to make in Europe. And here I am with this project of electrical car. We hope it'll be running by the end of this year, the car, prototype. The car will correct itself. If you slide the car, there is a system that will correct the car, giving more power to different wheels, helping the driver. I mean, this is amazing.
What do you think that would have been like through Woodcote in 1973, that system?
Very fast, but not same fun as I had in 73. You know, sometimes I was behind Ronnie Woodcote and I could see Ronnie sideways, front wheel correcting his hand on the cockpit. And this was fun.
I've seen lovely shots of you, Nigel Snowden photographs of you, for example, with the Bosch curve at the Österreichring in the 72. Yes. Beautiful oversteer slide.
Fun.
Drift, four-wheel drift probably?
Yes, we had a lot of fun. And I think that's always happening in racing for the future. Even with the most sophisticated electronic control, always the master will be the driver, for sure.
you took a risk with the WEC program in Brazil, but you've put your heart and soul into everything, Emerson. Tell me about your life now and your passion and your motivation for living and for racing.
Well, you know, I think a man is like a bicycle of two wheels. If you stop pedaling, you crash. And you can pedal slower, but you always keep pedaling. And you always have to have a challenge in life. And I think from now, I have two challenges. Emmo, to help Emmo on racing. If Victoria wants to race, I have to help her. That's another challenge for me. And then building the car is a huge challenge to make electrical, what I call hypercar. And that's, I love to do, is a new challenge, and you have to look always forward on the future. Have a good team, good people behind. You never can do by yourself. Learning racing, you know, you have to have a great team behind.
So what do you say to people that say, Emerson, come on, relax, sit on the balcony, have a glass of wine, chill out?
I think there's time that you can enjoy life like that, but to me it's so good. It's a blessing from God to be able to continue traveling, working, and be on my very special world, that's racing, because that's where I belong.
It's amazing for these people, I think, to have you coming to an open day like this and sharing their life and endorsing it. And it's not only you, other Formula One drivers.
I mean, here I have Ricardo Patrese, Trulli, Luca Baduel, having the motions as father. Not easy. For me, it was much easier the cockpit. Being a father is tough.
And thank God you survived racing as well in an incredibly dangerous era. And in a way, it's appropriate that you're now putting so much back into motoring and motor racing because you had that, not luck, but you had that gift of survival.
Well, I was talking, you know, when Jackie this year was 8 years old, I had long conversations with Jackie that, you know, we're lucky to be alive. I would consider Jack Stewart more lucky than me, you know, thanks God, because on the 60s to me was the worst. It was just before my era, and he survived. He's there. He's a fantastic guy, and there's no many of us that survived, that's still alive, world champions. But you know, I have a lot of respect for Jack, and we appreciate life more than possible other people. South Garda is the Monza of karting in Europe, and it's the most traditional track now in Europe. Dino Chiesa started many years ago. He's like the Colin Chapman of karting, and through his hands, Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, Fernando Alonso, I mean, so many important drivers, world champions, went through Dino Chiesa's hands. And now he's the official Sauber team as well, junior team for Sauber. From the Formula One team, he's Kart Republic.
So Emmo Jr. doesn't go to high school, he goes to Dino Chiesa school.
Dino Chiesa school, and my wife is a tutor at homeschool.
Is your wife a very strict tutor? Does she get quite upset if the homework's not done?
She's tough on Emmo, she's there, and we know that for Emmo education he has to do, because if she doesn't do well in school, stop racing. That's the rule. That's had to be.
And you've got 3 sons. Why Emmo Jr. is doing this? Tell
Well,
us about how that worked out.
Jason, when he was 11, my oldest son, went to Interlagos karting in Interlagos. Did one day, he was very fast, but we went home. He never asked again to go back. I give back the kart. And then Luca, when he was 11, I took to Interlagos to the go-kart track. He drove quite well. Went home, never asked again. I give back the kart. I never say one word. As long as he didn't ask, I didn't say one word. And Emmo Jnr, since 6 years old, I want to race, I want to race. And then we took to indoor from Felipe Jaffoni in Brazil. And first time he drove a kart, he was 6. And he didn't want to go home. He started crying when he said, come out of the car. No, no, I want to continue. It was a problem. I knew that there was a beginning of a big problem for the family. Now we are here. I'm enjoying, but it's not easy to be a father.
But it's like your second racing life now, eh?
It's fantastic. It's a blessing from God to be here, because that's my life. But it's tough to be a father. You know, I always say, a father of a racing driver, or the mother of a Miss Universe, Miss Brazil, Miss England is a disaster. I have to always have a coach between myself and Emmo, because the emotion as a father is a conflicting sometimes, and then he has a coach, has a good, I mean, Dino Case is a very good coach. I made a number. I lost about 37 colleagues that raced with me from the beginning of my Formula One career to my last race in IndyCar. And Jackie lost 55. He told me, he counts as well. 55 friends Jack Stewart lost since he started Formula One. That show how much was on the 60s. Even worse than when I started in 70s.
And it's interesting that both you and Jackie have that philosophy of just working hard now. Every day is valuable, and you put something into it.
Yeah, and that's life. And I see Jackie very active. Last time I saw him was in Abu Dhabi, and it's always fun to be with Jackie, always fun. A great guy, great gentleman, great guy, and a fantastic champion.
Money is so important in motor racing, and I think we often get carried away, do we not, with the world of money as distinct from the world of racing. It strikes me that you've always loved racing, pure and simple. You don't do it to make money, you do it because it's right, and you want to do it well. And if the money comes along, great.
That's the right philosophy to any sport. You have to do because the passion, the motivation, and trying to win, and then being successful, the money will come anyway.
Yeah. When you started in Brazil, Emerson, completely different.
Completely different. You just pressure the tires and drive it. And I started building my own karting with Wilson, and it was called mini kart. It exists until today. Ayrton drove, you know, the mini kart. Nelson Piquet racing the karts I was manufacturing. And the karting is the base of everything. Like CRG was the team only a few years ago that Max Verstappen was driving. They have so many technical sources to change, to adapt to the kart. Caster camber, steering wheel geometry, Ackerman, anti-Ackerman, chassis up, chassis down, different shafts for the rear.
I mean, Colin Chapman would be fascinated.
Colin would design a very fast kart now, for sure. That's it.